We
You're
are
good.
recording.
Got it.
All right, all right.
Right.
Well, Bayleigh Choate, that's how you say it, right? Choate.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when I was a kid, my doctor was Dr. Choate. That's how I knew how to say that, right?
Well, that's surprising because everyone butchers it. Like I've been called everything under the sun. I just roll with it. I don't even correct people anymore. I'm like, awesome.
It's kind of like when my last name Byrnes. I always knew as a telemarketer growing up when they would say Byrnes or everything else but that. And it's real fun when we get introduced on stage and they still say my name wrong. So I feel you there.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Well, let's jump right into it. I looked up info on you, and it said the Cowboy Channel named you a rookie to watch this spring. So is it your first year really out doing it professionally?
Yep, it's my first year in professional rodeo.
Well, that's awesome. How's it going so far? I saw you were in the number one spot at one point. Are you still there?
Yep, it's over. There's one rodeo left, but there's not enough money left to really change anything. So I won the rookie in the America. I won the rookie in Canada. I won the barrel racing season earnings in Canada. We have to go to the finals to determine the champion, but I'm leading the world standings up there, and I made the NFR down here.
That's amazing. So is Canada where you're from?
No, I
No,
just went
just
up there. I just went up there to rodeo. I have a girl that does all my entering, and she was like, "Let's go to Canada," and I was like, "Okay," because it was like easier on the horses because it wasn't as hot, so it didn't take as much out of them, and we were asking them for so much that we had to make that decision of if we go up there, it's cooler, and the heat just drains them. So I was
hmm.
like, if we go up there, it's a lot cooler, and I can make a lot more runs, and then it really helped set me up for the finals.
Well, it sounds like touring in Texas, when it's 115 and we still have to do outdoor shows. So I feel you
Oh
there.
yeah, I know.
Well, let's start
I
from the
can't
beginning then.
imagine.
Where are you from? How'd you get started? Was your family into it? What's your
Um,
story?
so I have been road racing my whole life. My mom did it. She like college rodeo, this, that, and the other, and then I came along and I've been doing it since I could walk. I've been on a horse. I don't remember a time when I wasn't on a horse or didn't want to be on a horse. So I did it, and then I lost all my good horses. They all got injured about the same time, and so I started over with a 3-year-old and I trained him, and then I went and decided that I was going to go pro rodeo on a 4-year-old, which is probably not smart because I always laugh because when people are like, "How's your rookie year?" or like, "Were you expecting this?" blah blah. I'm like, no, because my horse is a rookie, just like I'm a rookie. Like I don't get my mom's old pro rodeo horse. So it was interesting, and so that horse. I actually the funny story is I wasn't even going to go rodeo because I didn't feel like I was ready, and I entered a qualifier and didn't, and it was a Fort Worth qualifier. And so they were like, if you win it, you get to go to Fort Worth. And I was like, okay, I was riding a baby. I never expected to win it. I went in there and won it. And then they were like, okay, well, now you have to buy your card. And once you buy your card, it starts your rookie year. They said you have to buy your card because you can't go to Fort Worth on a permit. And I'm like, great. So I'm gonna like waste my rookie year because I want to. So, anyways, I ended up buying my card and I just went with it. And for the first 6 months, I sucked. Like I'll just be honest, I sucked. I hit barrels, I fell down, I did this and that, and it wasn't until I was in Montgomery, Alabama, and I had just hit a barrel to win the rodeo. So I was like, you know what? I'm going home. I'm done. Like called everyone. I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. And I went 6 months and I maybe won $500. And so my friend was on the phone with me. She said, literally, Bayleigh, it just takes one rodeo to turn your whole career around. Like, you don't need to quit. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I hung the phone up and we're driving back, and the WPRA called and they said, hey, we have a spot at Rodeo Austin. Now, Rodeo Austin's an invited rodeo, and I was like 90th in the standings. I wasn't even nowhere near the top. And they were like, we have a spot at Rodeo Austin. Like, enough people had dropped out. Can you be there? And I was like, whatever. Like, I'm on my way home. Sure, I'll be there. So I showed up to Rodeo Austin, and I really don't know what happened from the trailer ride from Montgomery, Alabama to Austin, Texas. But I showed up in Rodeo Austin, and I like won the round that night. I ended up fifth in the long round. I won the semifinals. Then my horse threw two shoes and was like third in the finals. And that put me number one because I won so much there. That put me number one in the rookie. And then I stayed there for the rest of the year. And then yeah, and then I went, and like it was like after that, my momentum picked up and I got on a roll and stayed there. It was
That's amazing.
crazy. It
That's,
was
I mean,
crazy.
that seems to be a thing in anything in the entertainment industry. One song, I mean, it's that story. I
Mhm.
mean, that sounds exactly correct to a T. So where
Yeah.
let's dial back to like growing up. Did you grow up ranching, or did people in your family ride? Like what led to this passion?
Nope, I grew up running barrels. I've
Did
always
you?
been a barrel racer. Always been a barrel racer. I rode horses my whole life. I won my first all-around saddle when I was 4. My mom used to strap me onto 1D horses, and everyone was convinced she was gonna get me killed. I'm still here today, so it didn't work. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I've been in it my whole life. I my first fraternity colt ever trained was the one I went to rodeo on, and I won fraternity horse of the year on him, my first one out the gate, so that was pretty special. And that's what I've always wanted to do. Like I've always wanted to be a fraternity trainer, but I also wanted to rodeo. So they're like two different avenues, and I was like, I
Right.
want to do both. So I was like, let's just go rodeo on a fraternity horse. Like, how wrong could it go?
Hey, one
Everyone
way
was
to
like,
find
you're
out.
crazy, and I was like, it's fine, it'll work.
No, I love that. I
But
mean,
yeah,
your story sounds so much like mine. I mean, my mom and dad took me to see George Strait when I was 3, and from 3 years old on, all I ever wanted to do was country music. So I totally relate with you there. And it's, you just got to jump and dive head in first and just see what happens with it. And so that's great. Well, let's
yeah,
dive in a little bit on your like daily prep, because I'm sure it's like us where people just think, oh, they just show up, play a show, and that's all there is to it. And there's so much behind the scenes, even
oh
day
yeah.
of and the days leading up. So let's start with your prep before you even leave the house. Like what kind of training do you have to do? What does it take to get ready to even go out on the road?
Oh yeah. So obviously, we spend a lot of time at the vet. We spend a lot of time injecting and spawing and swimming and like just making sure. I mean, they're athletes, so we spend a lot of time just making sure that they're 100%. Because we're literally asking them for their life every time they go in that arena. So it's our job to make sure that they're 100%. I spend many of my days, just well, I start my morning every morning. I wake up with them every morning, feeding them, and the last thing I do at night is feed them to go to bed. So I start my day and end my day in the barn. And it's just hours of prepping their legs, massaging, washing, making sure everything's loaded in the trailer. We even went to as far as installing automatic waters in the trailer while they're going down the road, so they have access to water 24/7, and they don't have to depend on us. Whenever they want it, they can have it. Um, Spend a lot of money at the feed store. They eat a lot.
Yep.
I don't limit my horses to food though. I literally let them eat as much as they want. Which some people are like, that's crazy. And I'm like, no, these are athletes. They're literally burning off so much. I'm just putting them back in. Now, I do have
Right.
some that are limited because they will overeat. Um, but yeah, so we give them like, we have like hay and stuff in front of them all the time. They get grain twice a day. We keep them on a strict supplement schedule. So they get all their stuff, and then we do that. It's just a lot. There's so
What
much that
about
goes into
you?
it that you don't even think about.
Well, so you talked about what you have to do to the horses. Obviously, you have to be in shape and ready. I mean, what do you have to do for your body and for you to be able to go out and ride and be able to compete?
Um, well, I should probably drink more water.
I think we're all guilty of that one.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad about it. This summer honestly really kicked my butt because do not like. I guess I put myself as second priority to the horses, and so yeah, I was like teetering on the edge for a minute right there. And they were like, because like I would get the point where I would like almost pass out and stuff, and it was bad. But yeah, I should definitely take better care of myself. Honestly, I can't answer that question because we're always second priority. I mean, we eat what we can, we drink what we can find. um, I don't really have a schedule or anything for me. I just survive and I make sure they have the best.
Yeah. Hey, I know that feeling. It's kind of like me with the guys in the band. They all get taken care of before I do. So I know exactly
Yeah,
what you mean. All right, we've
yeah.
talked about the prep to get out there. What is an actual show? I'm a musician, so I'm gonna call it show day. I'm not sure. Actually, here, let's ask that. What is the lingo? What do y'all call the actual rodeo days?
Well, you have performances and you have slacks.
Okay. Well,
So
what's for the
only
for those that don't know, what's slacks then?
slack is kind of like the overfill. So in a performance, there's only 10 to 12 people in each event. Well, really, in reality, there's probably 50 or 60 people in each event. So slack is like the overfill from it's all the same rodeo. It all counts toward the same. It's just only 10 people get to run in front of the crowd, and the rest of the people run and probably at 9 o'clock in the morning before the rodeo. So yeah, so we have performances and we have slacks.
I got you. Well, let's get right up to the moment that you're about to come out of the gate and ride. Like what's going through your head? What's happening? What are you doing? Like take that experience for somebody that's never done it.
Okay, so I mean, you warm up, and I mean, if you're like in a performance, I personally I prefer the more high pressure rodeos. Um, like the ones with a lot of pressure and a lot riding on them, I seem to do better. So it's crazy when you're standing back there and you can hear like the crowd and you can hear it all. Like you can't see it yet, but you can hear it, and your horse feels that. And so like when you're coming down the alleyway, I just try to honestly, I don't really, I mean, it's so loud in there, but when I'm running, I can't hear a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's crazy how your mind can block that out. And I just, when I'm coming down the alleyway, I always just find my spots, and that's where I'm going. And I really can't tell you anything else, but I can tell you where my spot is. And so that's where I'm going. But yeah, it's fun. It's pure adrenaline. And I think we all live on an adrenaline rush. That's kind of what we live for.
Yeah.
And so it's fun when you're coming down the alleyway and you can just hear like the crowd and you can feel like the entertainment or the electricity, and you could feel all that. Like you feel it, and when you're coming down the alleyway, there's no other feeling in the world, Like it's like everything goes blank. You don't really know anything other than where you're going.
Yeah.
But like it's like the world stops in a way. Like when you're in the arena, like you don't see what's going on around you. It's literally just you and the horse.
Yeah. Full focus, full focus. I love it. So some athletes I know, football players and stuff, they have like music that sets the tone. What's your tone setter? What do you like?
Running late.
Hey, for honesty, I'll take it.
I like running late. Okay, people think I'm crazy, but if you get there early and you prep and you think and you prep and you think, you overthink it. If you're running late and you're like, the rodeo started at like 8 o'clock and you're not getting there till 8:30, and you have to get out and you have to saddle your horse and go up there, you don't have time to think about it, and it gets your adrenaline going from the beginning, and you never get off that adrenaline rush.
I love it. I love it.
And so
I can
I
see
like
that.
to run late. I stress everybody out because I'm like, I'm gonna be there like 45 minutes late. And they're like, no, you're not. Get here. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll be there. I like to run late.
All right. Well, let's take away the rodeo days and the horses. What's a day at home like? What's life away from performing like?
It's very nice to be home. I was on the road for 103 days. So when I got home, I've never been so happy to pull my driveway. I was ecstatic. Like the last hour was the longest hour of my life. It's just so nice. You get a whole new appreciation for unlimited hot water, your bed, and having a washer and dryer in your house, because laundromats, not for me. I hated going to the laundromat because like you just have to sit there, because we would have so much. It wasn't like we went to the laundromat like once a week. We went like once every 3 weeks. So like we had so much, and it was just a lot. So you have a whole new appreciation. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
I said you have a whole new appreciation for that. And then it's so nice to come home, and like last night I went to a jackpot and I absolutely sucked. Like I hit barrels to win it and stuff. But I was like, it was so much fun because like I finally get to go make a run and my career's not riding on it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is the best thing ever.
And enjoy it. Just enjoy it. They're like,
Bayleigh, you just hit barrels to win it. And I'm like, this is the greatest day ever. Like my career's not riding on this. And I got to take the babies. I like the babies. My colt for this year, he's kind of I don't know, he's special. Okay. He's blind and he's sway back. So everyone threw him away. And so I'm determined to take him and kick some butt on him just to prove that they can be special and still be winners.
It sounds like chips on your shoulder and being told no motivate you pretty well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's how I ended up with Boozer. So Boozer, the one that I won for Futurity Horse of the Year, I was like 16, and there was some really mean girls, and they were like, "You can never train a futurity colt." So what did I do? I went out and I got on an airplane and I flew to Texas and I bought a futurity colt. And my mom was like, "Are you seriously doing this right now?" And I was like, "I'm doing it." So I bought the futurity colt, and I went, and not only did I train my futurity colt, but I also won futurity horse of the year.
That's
I
awesome.
like to
That's
prove
awesome.
points, okay?
Well, it's kind of like me. I was told you're two country, you're two country, you're two country. So I packed up, moved to Texas, and it's a good thing. So hey, sometimes going on
Yeah.
your own instinct and doing what you know is going to count. So you talk about travel. Let's go in there. Let's paint a picture for people that don't know what it's like. So are y'all doing the dually truck with the trailer, or do y'all have a nice rig?
Uh,
What's travel for you?
we drive a Kenworth Swabbly stretch.
Hmm.
So it's nice to have. I like driving the dually because it rides a lot smoother and the Bluetooth in it works really good. But the Kenworth is nice for when you're doing long distances.
Yeah.
And then we have a 2021 Elite 4 horse with like a 16 or 17 foot short wall. I don't know, but 16 and 17 foot get really small after 103 days.
Well, so how many people travel with you? Or do you have a team or your folks or
Um,
anything, or is it just you?
yeah, so this summer, my parents got to come with me this summer, so that was pretty cool. Them getting to spend that time. My dad had to go back and forth for work, so it was either just me and my mom or me, my mom, and my dad.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it
awesome.
was fun, but it got tight toward the end. I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, so with us, we've got like the Sprinter van that's decked out like a bus on the inside, but it's still
Mhm.
very small quarters, and we cram 5, 6 people in there. So I know that feeling. By the end of the weekend, I'm like, get me out of this thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, I'm a country singer, so let's dive in there. What's your favorite music? Any artists that you just love or inspire you, or I don't know.
Um,
What's your take there?
that's a good question because I listen to if someone played my playlist, they would just be like, "What the heck?" I go from like country to rap to old rap, back to old country, back to Miley Cyrus. Like it is just all over the board. I really don't have like I guess a favorite person. There's like a fly in here. It's like buzzing all around my face.
See, it's trying to tell
Uh,
you David Adam Byrnes is your favorite, right? Just kidding.
I actually listened to your song the other day. Um, the the uh the one about the cowgirl.
Yeah, keep it with a cowgirl.
Yeah, that was like this was based off of. I listened to it. It was really good.
Oh,
There was
thank
a
you.
lot of truth in it. I was like, he must have dated a barrel racer or something because this is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it right there, and not go any further. That was in the
Yeah,
past, but yes.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let's dive back in there then. What are the battles that you have as a female in the rodeo circuit? Do you see anything different or harder? Is there more struggles? I mean, obviously, guys are not barrel racing, so it's a sport to yourself. But is there any struggles you find because you're a woman in the sport?
Well, let me say this: girls are a lot more cutthroat than guys. Like the guys
Hey,
will go kick each other's butt and then go drink a beer together, and girls like if you outrun one, they're like trying to cut your throat in the back.
I grew up with 3 sisters. I learned y'all all mad at everybody a long time ago, so
Oh my
we're
god.
good there. But no, that's
Yeah.
dive more into that. I mean, you know,
So like the barrel racers are very there's some that we come together, but like sometimes they're very divided. Like we don't you don't ever see us like you'll see the barrel racers hanging out with the ropers and stuff, but you don't ever see just a big group of barrel racers. And that's what I'm just like, because the ropers, I mean, they'll go rope and they don't care who wins. They're gonna who's gonna bring the beer tonight, you know? Um, and they'll be hanging out their trailers. And then you see the barrel racers and they're just like staring at each other, like out there with their horses, like just all just I don't know. It's fun. I mean,
competition,
I'm that
competition.
person. Yeah, I'm that person. I don't really care. I'm like, whatever, like, be that way. I don't care. But there's some that are good, but there's some out there that just take it super duper serious and it becomes not fun for other people. Okay, so I'll tell you an example. I was in Salinas, California, and someone thought it would be funny to take my horse out of their stall and tie him to a fence in the
Oh
middle of the
yeah.
night. Yeah. So barrel racers are a little bit cutthroat. They will do anything to win.
Well,
So it's yeah, it's a lot different. I don't
hold
really
on
think
now.
we
You're in the
struggle.
#1 spot. Have you done any wickedness to get there yourself?
No, I've been nice. Like I try to be friends with everyone because I am the rookie And I'm the one that, I don't really have any ground to stand on in professional rodeo. So I try to be nice to everyone and make friends, and I'm a social butterfly anyways. So I mean, like, I'm gonna talk to you whether like you like to talk to me or not.
You
That's
just said something that really sparked something for me because I know, like looking back for me, when I first moved to Nashville, I was 19, and I signed a record deal and a publishing deal very, very quickly. And there were a lot of guys that had been in town a while that they weren't mean to me about it, but you could definitely tell they were a little bitter and jaded because someone young and up and coming that hadn't really earned it yet got so much recognition very quickly. Do you see that kind of reaction or anything from the other people in the barrel racing circuit, or is everybody really accepting to you?
um I can answer that. So I really got, I guess, I can't say hurt because it's really hard to hurt my feelings. Like, I'm a girl racer, you can't really hurt my feelings. But it was hard when I was out here doing so well on horses that we've owned since they were 3 and made, and people were like, "Oh, well, her parents are just buying her this, like, she's buying the rookie, this, that, and the other." And my parents are very supportive, and my parents would do anything to help me be successful. But those 2 horses that I was the most successful on, we bought them as babies, and, I mean, the one was trained by Alan Fletcher and the other one was trained by me. So it was really hard to have to listen to people say that kind of stuff, or when I would be doing good, people would just not, like, directly call you out, but you knew, you
Yeah,
know? And I'm the kind of person where I was never mean to anyone. I never tried, because I don't like people doing that to me.
right.
So I never tried to I was always nice. And so to hear people say kind of stuff, it was hard, but I never let it bother me. I never let it get to me. I just kept on rolling and I kept on being me. And so, but I'm pretty mentally tough like that. I can take a lot. And so it was not as hard for me as it would have been for somebody else, but it was definitely not easy to have to listen to it, I guess.
Well, you said something within there I want to dive into even more. You said that you actually helped train the horse. Now, are you talking from the when it's born, breaking and all, or training as far as the barrel racing aspect?
So the one that I had for the fraternity horse, he was broke and started at Luann Johnson and Cody Johnson Twisted J Ranch.
Hmm.
He had about 60 days on him when I got him. And Whitney Godnez rode him over there. And then I got him and went from there. And then on the barrels, we seasoned and did all that fun stuff. And then we started rodeoing.
So then, okay, here's dial back then. So for folks, especially on my world in the music world, they may not know anything about it. So what is it like having to train the horse for barrel racing? I mean, what's the kind of stuff you have to deal with and do? I mean, I know I've seen it and they learn cues and that kind of deal, but how do you make a horse understand that? Like what's your process?
So it really depends on the horse. Oh, the flies back. It depends on the horse. Some it's just like people, like, some are faster learners than the other. Some are less stubborn than the other. So it really depends on the horse, the approach you take. Some horses can do really well off positive reinforcement, and some horses don't do really well off positive reinforcements. They take you as a joke, and you have to show them that you're not a joke. Like, I'm serious, do this. So it depends upon the horse. Boozer, for example, he was he was natural. Like, he wanted to be a barrel horse. He was born and bred to be a barrel horse. And he is a very confident horse. He's very cocky. If you asked Boozer what he was, he would tell you he is the greatest thing ever and would be offended that you didn't know his name. And that's just Boozer. And I think a colt with a lot of confidence like that can excel so well under pressure because they know they're good.
Yeah.
And Boozer knew from the beginning that he was good. And so he was a little bit different. There was some positive reinforcement and some more stern reinforcement with him because he is so arrogant and he thinks that he's better than you. And so you have to constantly knock him off his high horse and, like, listen here, we're doing this my way. But he was easy. He wanted to be a barrel horse. I got him super broke in the face, and he just took to the barrels like a duck to water. He was honestly natural at
I
it.
love it. I love it. Well, so you're basically getting into the off season. How long does that last?
The season ends September 31st or September 30th and starts October 1st.
Okay, so it's right in, right out. Now you said
Yeah.
you are. Make sure I understood you right. Did you say you are qualified for the NFR this year?
Yes, sir.
Is it? And it's your first time, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Have
It's
you
my
been?
first time ever trying and my first time going.
Have you ever been out to the NFR and experienced it, or is this your
Oh
first time
yeah.
altogether?
Oh yeah. I've been going to Vegas since 2016. We go every year.
That's awesome. That's
We
awesome.
stay
So
for the whole time.
what's the because I know that that's for me that's like getting the chance to play the Grand Ole Opry or something. So what does that mean to you to make that level your first go out? I mean, I don't know what go with it. What do you feel on that?
Yeah, it's very unexpected, first off. And second off, I have literally dreamed of this since I was a little girl. I used to, when the NFR would come on when I was little, I would set barrels up in the living room and I would move the coffee table and everything. And I had a stick horse and I would run barrels with it didn't matter if it was Lisa Lockhart and Louie. I was Lisa Lockhart and I was riding Louie and I was running barrels when they would run barrels. Every night the NFR, the barrels would come on at the NFR.
Okay, see, I did the
And
same thing. We had the fireplace that was my stage, and I had the little fake
yeah.
light up microphone stand and my guitar that I absolutely had no idea how to play, and I'd put on concerts in the living room. So totally relate with that one.
Yeah. And so I have dreamed of going to the NFR since I knew what the NFR was. Um, and that's always been my dream. And I did never want anything more than to be there. However, it was the how am I going to get there part that I had to figure out. And if you would have told me 6 months ago I was going to make the NFR, I would have been like, thanks for trying to boost my spirits. But, and so it was really unexpected, and I think it kind of shocked everyone in a way because I literally came from the bottom of the standings with $500 to my name to 11th in the world. And I was number one money earner over Cowboy Christmas, which is a big thing.
That's
And
huge.
doing
That's
it as a
huge.
rookie was really
And
it was
here,
pretty cool.
let me dumb this down too for the folks. I know what you're talking about, but when you say over Cowboy Christmas, explain to the listeners that may not know what that means, what that is.
So Cowboy Christmas is over the 4th of July. We call it Cowboy Christmas because there's literally like I don't even know how many rodeos in a week, like 3 a day. And it's literally the most craziest time of the season. It is the time that determines who goes home and who stays out there pretty much. So it's like crunch time for some and capitalizing time for others. So it's just a crazy time. It's the most jam-packed week of the season. Everybody's rodeoing, everybody's trying to win a dollar. I don't think anybody sleeps that week. I think we just live off Red Bulls and sour gummy worms and just keep driving. um, so it's crazy. That time is crazy. And I only went to 4 rodeos that week. I turned out at everything.
Wow.
I had the least rodeo count too over Cowboy Christmas. And I was like, I'm turning out. But the reason I did that was because so at Pinoca, I 40% of Pinoca. So I won the long round, the short round, the average, and the final four. That's how I was able to only go to 4 rodeos over Cowboy Christmas because I capitalized at Pinoca. And so, yeah, but Cowboy Christmas, it can either be going to 4 rodeos or 40 rodeos. It's just crazy. Honestly, it's crazy to see those people drive it. Like you're looking at Facebook and you're
Yeah.
like, then you go to Google Maps and you're like, how did they get there? I mean, they're flying and driving and running 3 rigs and it's crazy. I didn't have that crazy of 4th of July because I just tried to capitalize where I went. And the girl that enters me was like, are you seriously turning out of everything? And I'm like, yeah, I'm only going to 4 rodeos. And she's like, I don't know how you're going to pull this off. And I was like,
Well,
I
it
don't know,
worked
we're
out
going to
pretty well,
see.
didn't it?
Yeah. And so, yeah, when I went all 4 rounds at Pinoca, she was like, I can't believe you just did that. She was like, I think you're the first barrel racer to ever 40% Pinoca. And I was like, well, it was fun. I did it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Bayleigh, thank you so much for taking time with us. I'm going to let you end on this. Obviously, social media is a big game in every single asset of life now. So, where can all the folks find you at?
Obviously, I'm on TikTok. I have a huge following on there. And so that's how a lot of people keep up with me is on there. And I'm pretty sure it's just like Bayleigh Show. I don't even know. anyways, it'll pull up. It'll be the first one. And then Instagram, it's Bayleigh Show, and Facebook, Bayleigh Show.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I have all three of those.
Was there anything you want to send out to the folks here before we chime off?
I really suck at those.
I'm the same way.
I
Every time
guess
I get
good
asked that, I'm
luck
like,
and
I
have
don't know.
fun.
The same reason we had the interview and what we talked about. So,
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
mean, I guess
awesome.
good luck and have fun and don't give up.
I love
I'm
it.
not very motivational, okay?
Well, hey, you know what? Don't sound like you need it. It sounds like you're just a grab by the horns and go. So maybe that's all the motivation
Yeah,
anybody needs
I'm
from
a
this.
like I don't really plan or anything. I just kind of do it.
I
I
love it.
like people ask me what rodeo should you go to this week. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of look at the schedule the day of and I'm like, oh, I need to be here. Okay, cool.
I'm the same way. I look to just see how far we need to drive and when we need to leave, and then I'm like, all right, we're just gonna point the GPS. So I feel you
Yeah.
there.
I'm like,
Well,
I can
awesome.
promise you I'm gonna be late.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We'll put this out here soon, and man, I'll be keeping an eye on you. Good luck at the NFR. We're trying to get out there. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it this year or not. We're working on it, so we'll do. I'll make sure we catch up with you.
Yeah, if y'all come out there for sure.
Heck
And good
yeah.
luck with your song and all the things. And I wish you the best and have some fun.
Well, thank you.
It's
Thank
okay
you.
if you're running
Likewise.
late.
Yeah, my band members are like that. I'm the time Nazi. Like, guys, we late. Let's go. So,
Yeah,
I love
I'm not. I'm like, I'm 30 minutes late. That's awesome.
it.
They're like, in Vegas, Bailey, you're gonna have to like have a strict schedule. So I'm having someone follow me around and just be like, "Okay, let's go next place," because
You're
I
gonna have
like
a
to
tour
talk. So
manager.
I'll just
You have a
be,
tour manager.
yeah, I'll just be out there just talking away, and I won't even look at the time.
That's awesome. Well, we will let you go, girl. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to
Thank
talk to
you
you
for
again
having
soon.
me.
All
All
righty.
right, bye, guys.
See ya.
I don't know how to get off here. Oh, leave.